and provoke something, and if Ben Jamal thinks that I'm trying to provoke something, what exactly does he think I'm trying to provoke by being openly Jewish? It's his march. He has these marches constantly. I was not there to counter-protest. I was not there with film crews or anything of the sort. His march was being covered by film crews, including Sky's film crew, which filmed it. I was not there to counter-protest. I was simply Jewish in the vicinity of these marches. And what we know from 6 months of this is that at these marches, we see constant incidents of glorification of terrorism. We see people engaging in all sorts of anti-Semitic hatred, as I saw at that march then. And I didn't see anybody from the Palestine solidarity campaigns, different stewarding teams. I didn't see anybody saying, for example, that the people shouting scum or disgusting or Nazis or anything of the sort at me. I didn't see any of them being remonstrated with by their fellow marchers. And this is what we see week after week after week. And it is no wonder that Jewish people are increasingly feeling that they cannot come into the centre of town, that they cannot be in the vicinity of these marches. And unfortunately, as I found out, that's true. It's not just a suspicion. It's not just a fear. It is absolutely true.
OK, Ben Jamal, right of reply?
Well, look, I mean, first of all, the narrative is entirely untrue. I would invite your viewers to go and watch the entire video. They will see exactly what happened, and Mr. Falter's organisation has come to try to disrupt every single one.
No, I'm sorry, that's not true. I have not been there at any of your demonstrations.
I didn't say you.
No, I'm sorry, this is not true. You also, I heard as I came on, I heard you saying all sorts of nonsense about what my views are. You do not know me, you do not know my views, and I'm afraid to say I have not been at your marches. You're trying to make out that this is something I do week in, week out. This is the first one of your marches that I have come across.
Right,
what rubbish you talk, man.
Can I speak without interruption from Mr. Falter?
Go on.
If you'd like to say something true.
What I actually said was your organisation has been at each one of the marches. I didn't say that you had been at each one of the marches. And I do know your views because you are the head of an organisation who is very clear about your views. And as I said, you have been widely criticised as an organisation for conflating anti-Semitism.
No, I'm sorry, you said, for example, that you started to talk about my views on Israel and things like that, things I have not spoken about publicly. So how can you possibly know my views? You make things up.
Well, Mr. Falter, you are the head of a campaigning organisation, so your views
so are you. And what about your organisation, which puts these marches on, where we've done polling now, which shows 90% of British Jews are afraid to come into city centres. What do you say about, for example, people dressed as Hamas terrorists at your demonstrations? What about that?
I don't know. I can carry on trying to talk over Mr. Falter, but if he could just be silent for a minute, and then I can make my points, and then I'll allow him to respond in any way he wishes to, rather than having him shout over me. His views are extremely well known, but the issue again that he's not dealing with from the start of these marches, very early on, his organisation called for the army to be brought onto the streets. The issue is the problem with Mr. Falter's presence was not that he is openly Jewish. He's not dealing with the fact that at every single march there are thousands of Jewish people marching, many of them in an organised...
What rubbish!
They're in an organised block, in a Jewish block. They are warmly welcomed at every demonstration. Some of them have put out public statements disassociating themselves with what Mr. Falter and his organisation were doing at the last march. So that's...
Let him come back to you on that.
First of all, I don't want to continue having a conversation with Ben Jamal. I'm happy to have an interview with you, but I don't want to carry on.
You did want to come on and talk.
Right. No. I'm not criticising UK.
That you wanted to have the conversation.
I did want to.
Final thought from you then, Ben Jamal, if I may. Hold on one second, Ben.